Almost there. There it is. Okay. And we're
Oh,
live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our second day of Hangouts for Let's Talk Energy Week. We're doing this in partnership with Ingenium and the Canadian Science and Technology Museum. My name is Melissa Mathers. I'm hosting you guys from Toronto, Ontario, Canada today. And joining me is an amazing woman in energy. Her name is Norma Panetta. So Norma is a woman who, for the past 2.5 years, has been employed at the Canadian Wind Energy Association. And she's a member, program specialist there. So she works with potential and current members of the Canadian Wind Energy Association. She collaborates on a number of projects to provide knowledge to Canadians about clean, affordable, and beneficial aspects of wind energy within their community. So with that, Norma, we'd love to hear from you. Welcome.
great. So I guess I'm live right now.
Yes.
So people can see me. I can see you. Hello, everyone. So as mentioned before, I do work at the Canadian Wind Energy Association, been there for 2.5 years. We are based in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And, it's a great group of people. I love working there. People are friendly. We all get along. And for this presentation, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about Canadian Wind Energy, the association, and all the wonderful stuff that we've been doing over the past several years. So I'm going to start off with my PowerPoint presentation. Let's see if I could do this. Screen share. Okay.
Perfect. We can see.
Okay, great. So again, who am I? I actually grew up in Kingston, Ontario, which is 2 hours south of Ottawa. I lived in Toronto for about 6 years. I backpacked in Australia and New Zealand for about a year. And throughout my life, I've always been aware of the environment, and I've done my best to help and change my lifestyle. So, of course, that meant recycling, taking public transit. Lived in Ottawa since 2014 and been working at the Canadian Wind Energy since 2015. So before I start, I'm going to see if I can show you a video. Now, if I show a video, will you be able to hear the sound?
Probably. I think if you give it a shot, I'll let you know.
Okay. We'll do closed captioning here.
So we aren't able to hear the sound, but we can see the images.
Oh, you can? So do you want me to continue with it or no?
Sure. If you unplug your headset, it might give us the sound as well, but it's up to you. Still no sound, but we got all the images.
So I don't know if you heard that.
We didn't hear it, but we could see everything.
Okay. Well, you can actually find this on our website. It's on the homepage. It's like the first video. So if you are interested, you can go on our website, canwea.ca. So that was just a short video of what we do as an organization. And just to give you a background, we've been around since 1984. We are the voice of Canada's wind energy industry. Our vision is to try to produce enough clean energy to meet 20% of Canada's domestic electricity demand by 2025. And again, we are the voice on behalf of our members to advocate for wind energy in Canada. I'm going to click on here, and this should show up. So I'm just going to give you kind of like a background of wind energy. Can everyone see this clearly? I don't know if it's big enough.
You can definitely see it. We can see the
That's
imagery
good.
really well.
Okay, good. So this is just an evolution, a history of wind energy. I mean, we've been using it for, 5,000 years, really, going back to Persia, using it for our grain and our water. And as you can see, over time, the wind mill itself has evolved. In the 1970s, if you go down to the last line there, wind energy was gaining steam, all because of the oil crisis that happened back then. And ever since then, it's just been growing and growing. If you look at the 1993-94 one, that was actually Canada's first installed wind farm. That was in Cowley Ridge in southern Alberta. And as of 2016, Canada has over 6,000 wind turbines, some nearly 10 times more powerful than the early machines. And we operate 285 projects in all 10 provinces, Yukon and Northwest Territories. So how much do we have? So currently we have over 12,000 megawatts of total installed wind energy capacity in Canada. And that's enough to power over 3 million homes. To give you an idea, 2 megawatts can power 600 homes per year. The most installed capacity that we have is in Ontario with 4,900, followed by Quebec, Alberta, and BC. So what does that mean? Well, that means that we have close to 300 wind farms across Canada. We have over 6,400 turbines in Canada, and we're actually the #1 new source of electricity for the past decade. And if you want to know, the most wind farms that we have is in Southern Ontario with 94. So that's quite a bit. So this here, I'm going to show you another chart. So this shows you, and I'm assuming you can see this pretty clearly.
Yep, no problem.
So this chart actually shows you the progression of installed capacity in Canada starting in the year 2000. So you told me that we have grades 3, 4, and 5. So I'm assuming that's ages 8 to 10, I think.
Yes.
Yes. So if we go back to 2007, Canada had a little under 2,000 megawatts. So we had about 1,800. And in 10 years, that went from 1,800 over to 12,000. So that's a pretty big number. And one of the reasons for this is because new climate policies that we initiated in Ontario and Quebec. A lot of companies are investing in clean energy and wind. We're also closing down coal plants. And I believe, in fact, in Ontario, we've closed all of our coal plants. So a lot of companies are looking for new ways to generate power. Another thing is, people are more aware of what's happening with the environment, and our behavior has changed. And whenever you have a large group of people changing their behavior and lifestyle, usually governments follow. So we are seeing a lot of provincial governments and even the federal government following through with initiatives as well. Another thing is oil isn't making as much money as before. So a lot of these oil companies are seeing that wind energy and renewable energy as a whole is more cost competitive. So they're investing more in that. And yeah, that's one of the reasons why we have so much. And I won't be surprised if we get more as time goes on. So where do we stand? So Canada is actually in the top 10. We are 9th in the world for installed capacity. #1 is China followed with the USA. And then we have Germany, India, Spain, UK, France, Brazil, and Italy rounding out the top 10. So I have a little graphic here. I didn't draw it, but it shows you how a wind turbine works. And if you look at it, wind turbines can be up to 100 meters tall, and they have about 8,000 parts in one turbine. But there are 9 key components as far as how they operate. So you have the blades, you have the controller, the generator. I actually do have a little animation here. If I can actually click on it, hopefully it will take me to it. So do you see this little animation?
Yes, we can see.
Harness the power of wind. So this is from the European Wind Energy Association. So I could go ahead and explain all the wonderful components of a turbine, but I might as well just show you an animation instead. So this kind of gives you the idea of what is involved in a wind turbine, what it does for each component. It tells you how it works. So obviously, the stronger the wind produces more energy. And you can also try it out. So I've been playing with this pretty much all morning. So you can actually change how big the rotor is. You can make it really, really tiny, or you can make it really, really big. You can change the wind speed, and you can make it go a little bit faster. You can make it slower. You can go really fast. It can either be onshore or offshore. You can add mountains in the background. So if you want hills, you can do that. If you want bigger hills, you want huge mountains, you can do that. So I thought this was neat. So if you want, you can always go on the website and try this out. So again, how do we help? CanWIA has over 200 members, ranging from individuals, like people who support wind as a whole, to students who are studying in renewables, to large global corporations who have wind farms all across the globe. We advocate on their behalf of wind energy for communities across the country. We host several events throughout the year, ranging from small intimate gatherings to our wind energy conference that is held every year in the fall. And on average, we have about anywhere between 1,500 to 1,700 people that attend. And it's actually the largest wind energy event in Canada. So after all this, what does this mean for you? So I realize I am talking to very young people. So you're basically the next generation to actually lead us into this renewable energy future. At the moment, right now, we have close to 10 million people who work in renewable energy worldwide. In the wind industry, that's about 1.2 million people worldwide. In Canada, that number is estimated to be over 10,500. Wind turbine technician is the fastest growing occupation in the US. Number one is solar panel installer. That's actually not too far-fetched in Canada as well. We also have several colleges across the country that offer programs in wind turbine technician or a related field. And the average salary in Canada is about $59,000. So you'll be making lots of money if you decide to get into the wind energy industry. And if you want to follow us, you can. You can follow CanWIA, you can follow me. And that is pretty much it for my presentation. I thought that was going to be a lot longer, but I think
That's great. We have lots of time for questions. I know we have a lot of eager students who have, I've seen some people were taking some notes.
Oh, wow.
So we'll definitely send the link for that interactive, how a wind turbine works. That was the European Wind Energy Association.
Yeah. Yeah, I can
EW.
send that link.
Okay, we'll make sure that we get it to you too. EWEA. So if you want to, you can stop sharing your screen so we can see your face and we'll get our students asking some questions. I'm just going to go down my list here. How about Miss Newton's class? These are our 4th graders in Lake Forest, Illinois. You guys have any questions?
We're going to have them come right up to the computer just so you can see them.
Perfect.
Right up here. It's nice and loud.
Why did you want to work at the Canada Wind Association?
Why? Well, because I've always been a strong supporter of wind energy and renewable energy. As I mentioned earlier, I actually grew up in a small town called Kingston, Ontario. And Kingston was one of the first regions in Canada to have a wind farm. It was actually a pilot project on Wolf Island. So I actually got to see these huge, large, cargo ships transporting these turbine blades across the lake. And I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. And actually riding my bike along the around Wolf Island was actually neat too. I mean, these turbines are huge. I don't know if you've ever seen a turbine, but they are huge. And, and they're very quiet. So, and the people that I work with are really nice. We all get along. So, and this is one of the few places that I work in where I actually am in line with their vision and their message as a whole. So I hope that answered your question.
We have quite a long line of questions. So I don't know how you want to do this. If you just want a couple more or...
Yeah, why don't we do 2 questions per class and we'll rotate through all the classes because we got quite a bit of time. So we'll do one more question from you guys, then we'll cycle through.
All right.
Hi, my name is Adrian, and how did you learn so much about like wind energy and stuff like that?
I read. Also, when you do work at the Canadian Wind Energy Association, they have a lot of resources, and so you do learn as you go. And I was just interested, right from the beginning. I mean, if you really want to know something on how it works and what it does, then, you're actually going to go ahead and do the research yourself. Our website, we have a lot of information. If you are interested, we have, we answer some questions for you if you have questions, lots of information on Canada and each province as well. So yeah, I think it's great. I love it.
Great, thank you.
No problem.
Lots of reading. I know you guys love to read, so that's good. Is there an American Wind Energy Association?
There is. It's called the American Wind Energy Association.
There we go. Yeah. So you guys could work there too. Awesome. Okay, let's get some questions from our students. Let's see who's next on our list here, guys. Sorry, I've lost my list. I know we have some students in Vancouver. Would you guys like to ask a few questions?
Sorry, you cut out. Was that to Brockton School?
Yes, yeah, in Vancouver. Oh. Would you guys like to ask some questions?
Yes, please.
Can you generate wind energy with different types of machines other than wind turbines?
As far as I know, no. But I mean, there could be another. I know for the standard wind turbine, you see kind of like the 3 blades. There are different types of turbines that are being built that are different. You have like kind of like a horizontal or vertical axis turbine. But the wind turbine is used specifically to generate wind power itself. So I hope that answered your question.
Thank you.
That's awesome question. Awesome question, guys. Do you have another one? Yes, we do.
Yes, we do have another one.
You have a clipboard.
How does the wind turbine create energy?
How does the wind turbine create energy? So the wind turbine actually creates energy by moving the blades So the wind actually moves the blades that produces electrical current into the generator that's in the nacelle, in the turbine, and then it goes down underneath into the ground through a generator into a substation that goes to the electrical wiring that goes into your house. I hope that made sense. That makes sense?
Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry guys, I was on mute. All right, let's see if we have any questions from our grade 5s in Edmonton. Do you guys have some questions?
Let me just unmute. Go for it, Keaton. Up here.
How much does the average windmill cost? Like, how much do they usually cost?
As far as like building one itself?
Yeah.
I don't really have a definite answer for that, but I could probably look that up for you at the moment. I don't have a concrete number for that for you.
Right.
Sorry.
Lots of money. Aiden, come on up.
How long does it take for the wind energy to come from the windmills to our house?
How long does it take? Well, I guess it depends because we do have stations that actually store energy. So I would assume it's probably just as much time as, you know, any type of energy source, like either oil or gas or anything like that. As far as, you know, when the energy is produced from the turbine to your house, I don't have like a clear answer.
But it gets stored kind of like a big battery in these
Yeah.
warehouses that would store our energy.
Yeah, yeah.
Very cool. Thanks, guys. All right, we're gonna keep moving through. Let's go back to Miss Newton's class and see if we have some questions there. We'll come back to you guys in Edmonton. Miss Newton's class. I know you had lots of questions.
Of energy.
Oh, I think you cut out a little bit.
Oh, how do you guys get these kinds of energy?
What do you mean?
Like, what do you get the
You mean how does the wind energy? Is it which?
I'm just saying, like, how do they get like the oil, like the wind energy? I guess, yeah.
Okay, so so how does the wind turbine work to produce the energy?
Yeah.
Is that it? Maybe.
How does the wind turbine work to make wind energy?
Oh, okay. So actually, that was in my one of the pictures that I had actually kind of showed that, and I don't know. I think I kind of scanned it too quickly. So I do have the PowerPoint up. I don't think you can actually see my PowerPoint.
Yeah, if you want to share your screen again, we can definitely do that.
Oh, okay.
That was a great picture. It had some simple machines are at work, right? Like you guys have probably learned about some gears. I know there's lots of gears that work inside.
So can you see this?
We can see it.
Okay. So as I said before, the turbine has about 8,000 parts, but you have 9 key components that help operate a turbine. So obviously the first one are the blades. The blades, they actually catch the wind and use the energy to turn the low speed shaft. And then low speed shaft, which is B, spins along the rotor and turns the high speed shaft using a gear system. The high speed shaft transfers the spin of the low speed shaft to the generator at a much higher RPM. And then it measures the speed of the wind and transmits this data to a controller. The wind vane measures the wind's direction and communicates this to the yaw drive. So the wind vane is kind of like when sometimes on top of houses' roofs, you kind of see like those wind vanes that kind of show you where the wind is going. It's similar to that. And then that actually tells the controller or tells the yaw drive where the wind is. And the controller actually starts and stops the turbine. So So it only operates at a desirable wind speed. So you don't want it too high, but you don't want it too low. So anywhere between 12 and 88 kilometers per hour. The generator produces the electricity. And then the yaw drive correctly orients the turbine. And then the brake actually stops the rotor in case of emergency or high winds. So I think that explained it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
The main piece, like the physics behind it, would be the wind spins the blades, and then the blades spin a shaft.
Pretty much, yeah.
Very cool. Okay. And Miss Newton's class, I know I see another student. What's your question?
All right. So my question is, how many wind turbines have you installed in Canada?
How many wind turbines we installed?
Yeah.
We installed a little over 6,400 wind turbines across Canada.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. Most of them are in
6,000.
Southern Ontario, only because Southern Ontario, there's, you know, a large collection of, you know, most of the population in Ontario lives there. So we have a lot of wind farms there and a lot of turbines.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure the U.S. has more. But yes, for Canada, we have quite a bit.
All right. Thank you for answering the question.
Okay.
Yeah, for our friends that are joining us from Illinois, we have about 36 million people living in Canada, and that you guys have more people living in California, about 39 million. So there's more people in California than in Canada. All right. What about our students in Vancouver? Do you guys have some more questions for us? For Norma.
How many wind turbines are in BC?
How many wind turbines are in BC? Well, I actually do have that information. I just need to go online first on our website. That is a good question. So let me share the
Have you guys
screen.
seen some wind turbines where you live in Vancouver?
So do you see this right now?
Yes.
Okay. So we do have a page on our website of wind energy in BC. So BC, right now you have a little under 600 megawatts of installed capacity. And number of wind turbines, you have 288.
288.
Have you guys ever seen some wind turbines in Vancouver where you live?
Yeah.
Very cool. Great question.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How much wind energy does an average community use?
How much wind energy does an average community use? It really depends on the community. Actually, can you see me right now? Okay.
Yes, we can see you again.
Okay. It really depends. As I mentioned before, we can power up to 3 million or over 3 million homes in Canada. So it depends on the house itself, on how energy efficient it is. There are ways to produce just renewable energy for your home. There is a company called Bullfrog Power that just produces renewable energy for homes. So if a household wants to just have wind or solar energy to, for their electricity, then they can actually call Bullfrog Power and actually have like a contract with them and say, yes, we just want our electricity just from wind or solar. So as far as, how much it produces, I don't have an exact answer for that, but people can actually go ahead and initiate it themselves if they want to produce wind, have wind or solar for their home, if that makes sense.
Thank you.
Okay.
Did you know the percentage of Canada's total energy that is created by wind sources?
I think it's about 6%. And I think our goal is 20% by 2025. So hopefully we'll get there. I'm determined. I believe, I'm confident that we will get there in the next 7 years.
That's great. All right. All right, we can go through again, but I know we still have to go back for our second time to our students in Edmonton. Do you guys have some questions?
Yeah, Mahmoud?
I want to ask, why do you prefer like wind-powered energy instead of another type of energy?
Well, because wind power is cleaner and it's more efficient. It's safer for the environment. You know, I've never heard of a wind turbine leak. I've heard of oil spills. And you know, I mean, this is the way the world is going. I mean, more and more every year you see, you know, countries, you see communities that are committed to achieving 100% renewable energy, you know, every day. So this isn't something that is just a trend. It's something that's, I think even today, it's going to be the new normal for wind energy, for renewable energy. And I think wind energy and even solar, I will give a shout out to solar energy as well. You know, this is something that we need to do in order to ensure that, you know, we can actually live on this planet and to be sustainable. So that's why I like wind energy. It's cleaner than oil.
Okay,
You guys have another question?
One more.
Awesome.
why is wind turbine important for electricity?
Why wind turbines are important for electricity? Well, right now they are cost competitive. They're actually in line with, you know, oil and gas, and they're actually probably going to be cheaper to build and to maintain than oil and gas. Also, they are cleaner and they're more efficient. And you know, again, it's something that you know, many countries and many communities are moving towards. A lot of places are moving towards renewable energy and wind energy as a whole. So this is your future.
Thank you.
Awesome. Great questions, guys. All right, let's go back to our students in Miss Newton's class in Illinois.
How much wind turbines will be in? How much wind turbines will there be total in 2018?
2018? How many total wind turbines in Canada?
No, I mean 2028.
Oh, 2028. How many wind turbines in 2028? A lot, I think. I don't have an answer, but I do know there is a website out there that will probably give me that answer. I'll probably just need to research it. I'm pretty sure it's, you know, I mean, if Canada has over 6,000 wind turbines, I'm pretty sure it's going to be in the millions as far as like globally itself. But yeah, I mean, if you want, I could probably research that for you and give you kind of like a prediction on where that trend is going to go in the next 10 years. But it will be a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll be sure to share those links with your teachers at the end of this call. All right, do you guys have a last question?
Why do we only have few wind turbines around the world, and why don't we like have wind turbines in every place around the world?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Well, in order to build a wind farm or wind turbine, you need to have a strong wind resource, and not every place in the world has strong winds in order to produce enough wind energy to make it viable and feasible to build a wind farm. So for instance, in like the desert hardly has, wind itself. It has lots of sun, but, not many places will look, building, and wind farm in a desert. Places in Canada, southern Ontario, southern Alberta, in the States, Texas is actually really good when it comes to wind resource. In fact, Texas is #1 when it comes to wind install capacity. So I know people think of Texas, they think of, oil and gas, but actually it's #1 for wind resource. So, I mean, I wish I could build wind farms, in every part of the world, but unfortunately we can't. We have to find the best place possible so then we can actually get the most energy out of those wind farms.
Thanks.
Great
No
question,
problem.
guys. Thanks so much. Okay, let's go back to our students in North Vancouver. What are your last questions for Norma?
Are there any downsides to wind turbines, such as them being potentially dangerous?
As far as being potentially dangerous, I mean, there has been some claims that people get headaches, if they're close to a wind turbine. But again, there's no actually concrete scientific evidence of a wind turbine itself being dangerous. I mean, they are actually pretty safe when it comes to the environment. If something breaks down on a wind turbine, the only thing that's going to spill is air, really. I mean, there's going to be no oil spill. There's not going to be, any animals or the land being destroyed by anything. So compared to that, I don't see any detrimental effect when it comes to wind turbines or wind farms.
Okay.
Awesome question. Hello there.
Okay. How fast do the blades of the wind turbine go?
How fast they go? Well, the proposed speed is anywhere between 12 and I think 88, and I think that actually showed in here. I don't know if you can see it. Oops. Sorry. But yeah, so it can go anywhere. It can go as slow as 12 kilometers an hour up to 88 kilometers an hour. You don't want it to go too fast because then, the turbine won't be efficient when it comes to producing power. So it really does depend on where it is. Sometimes on average it could be, 24 kilometers, sometimes it could be 50. So it all depends on how strong the wind is that day.
Great question. And for our students in the United States, that's about 55 miles per hour is the max speed. 88 kilometers per hour is about 55 miles per hour. All right, great questions. Thanks, guys. And we'll go back to our students in Edmonton for their final questions.
Questions? Who hasn't come on it?
My name is Ahmed, and I'd like to know why don't you use hydroelectricity instead of wind electricity?
Well, Canada actually does have hydroelectricity. Canada has all, different forms of electricity. We have a very diverse electricity mix. We have hydro, we have, obviously oil and gas, we have solar, and we have wind. So it's not that Canada doesn't use it. It's just we want Canada to have more of a diversified electricity mix, so then we're not depending on just one source of electricity, because if that one source kind of breaks down or something happens, then we don't have a backup plan, for that. So for me, I prefer wind energy, but obviously Canada has more than just one resource, so we might as well just use all of them all at once.
Thanks.
Great question.
You're welcome.
Brendan?
Is burning fossil is burning fossil fuels faster to produce energy, or is wind power?
Well, burning fossil fuels, we've been doing it for quite a while now, over 100 years. So we kind of know how to do it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's good for the environment. As far as producing energy through wind, I think the technology has actually grown quite a bit over the past 10 years. There's been a lot of investment and a lot of growth in wind energy to actually produce it at a faster rate than fossil fuels, because eventually fossil fuels will probably need to kind of tone that down. We don't want to be using fossil fuels for a long time. So hopefully in the next couple of years, we'll be able to wean ourselves off of fossil fuels and produce more clean electricity like wind and solar.
Great question. Well, thanks, guys. And I wanted to say a big thank you to Norma for joining us today. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule. And thank you to our amazing classes. You guys had some fantastic questions. So I'm going to turn your microphones on so you guys can all say thank you and goodbye to Norma.
Thanks, Norma.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. And have a great rest of your energy week. We hope you'll join us again and enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks, guys.
Are we all good?
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, my internet has been frozen. There we go. There we go. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, hopefully I answered all the questions, and I'll send those links actually. Yeah, .org. What was the other link? Oh.